why society isn't supportive about GLP journeys. Why is it that when you take medication for blood pressure, nobody bats an eye? But when you take a medication for obesity, a chronic inflammatory disease, suddenly society has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion about your health care. So let's talk about why society is not supportive of our GLP journeys and why that needs to change. So you all know who I am. I'm Carrie Lee. I've been on a GLP since August of 2022. Well, I've been on Mounjaro since August of 2022. I've been on a GLP since 2005. I started with the original one. I started with Byetta. And then I went on to other GLPs, including Trulicity. And that's what I was on when Mounjaro came out, and I switched to Mounjaro. So I've been on them all throughout my journey. And no one ever asked about the other ones. No one had a problem with the other ones. It wasn't until Mounjaro that people felt the need to nose into my medical history. You know, they didn't care when I was this person here. No one cared when I looked like that. No one said, "Hey, are you doing okay?" No one said, "Hey, should we go for a walk?" No one said anything about my health care, about my medications. Nothing. But you know, by golly, people have things to say when I look like this. So if you've ever felt judged on your journey, you're in the right place. The stigma of obesity, a chronic inflammatory disease, and weight management is often seen as a personal failure instead of the chronic inflammatory disease. Society always pushes the eat less, move more as a cure. Ignoring biology, genetics, hormones, environment. GLPs prove obesity is not about willpower. It is a medical condition with a medical treatment that can help it. Otherwise, the medicines wouldn't help it. If it was not a medical condition, the medicines wouldn't matter. They wouldn't do anything for it. We wouldn't need the medicines unless it was a medical treatment. So how many times have you been told, diet harder? Eat less. Move more. For me, I got a push away from the table. Yeah, too many to count. Society's misunderstanding of GLPs. That is the main thing. People think GLPs are weight loss shots. And that's all they do. You take the shot and the weight falls off. That's not what they are. Most people wish it was that way. But that's not what they are, by any means. In reality, GLPs were created for diabetes and heart protection long before weight management. They save lives, protecting the heart, the kidneys, and reducing cancer risks. That is their main functions. These meds reduce the risk of heart attack and strokes by 20%. That's big. That's huge, actually. Society's cheating narrative. Society says you're taking the easy way out. Some say you're cheating. Well, the only thing we're cheating is death. And trust me, this is not the easy way out. These medications are not easy. These medications are hard. The constipation. Some deal with nausea. Eating the right things. Drinking your water all the time. Sleeping right. Adding movement in. It's not easy. These medications are not easy. They're not the easy way out. Nobody says you're taking the easy way out about insulin or chemotherapy or blood pressure medications. Or how about cholesterol medications? Nitroglycerin. No one says that about those. You know, you carry the little nitro in their pocket every day. No one looks at that little vial and says, oh, that's the easy way out. You should throw that away. If you're having chest pains, walk more, eat less. No one says that. If they see your little vial, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, keep that with you. It's a double standard. Obesity treatment is judged very differently because of deep societal bias. Reframe that GLPs are tools, like eyeglasses for vision. So media, social media, and pressure. TikTok, the gram, and magazines sensationalize GLPs as a vanity drug. You know, you see some of those ads out there that are like, 4 weeks and you can be down 20 pounds. You see a lot of gray market advertising. You see a lot of false advertising. Celebrities being used, that they lost the weight in a month. You know, celebrities often misuse or flaunt them, fueling the stigma. Real patients with diabetes, PCOS, or obesity get lost in all of that noise. It is bigotry, Freckles. It is. You know, how many of you have felt nervous to even share that you're on a GLP because of what you've seen online? You don't even want to tell people you're on a GLP because as soon as you do, you know that somebody is going to judge you. You just know it's going to happen. Even family and friends often don't get it. People hide it in their refrigerator. Yeah, because of fat, HATE. Exactly. Exactly. You're triple less than meds, surgery, no gym workout guy. I know, Jamie can't hide it. Your loved ones may unintentionally shame you. They may tell you, you don't need that shot. Just work harder, honey. You can do it. Aren't you worried about the side effects? What if it unalives you? They mean well, but they don't speak well. Talk about the loneliness of not being supported. It's hard if you don't find a TikTok family, a group that you feel supported with. So the way to respond to friends and family is educate them, set boundaries, and find a supportive community even online. So accessibility and fairness. Society questions if GLPs are worth it, or are they too expensive? You had a 70-year-old lady at work go bananas about GLPs, so I didn't say a word for a long time. Yeah. And some of it is what we're going to talk about now. Are they worth it? Are they accessible to everybody? The same society spends billions treating complications of obesity and diabetes. They will spend the money to amputate a limb, but they don't want to spend the money to cure the cause of that limb amputation. They will spend millions on macular degeneration, but they won't spend a penny on the shot that can cure the disease that causes that. They will spend millions on dialysis, but they won't spend a penny on the disease that causes the patients to get dialysis. They have a bias. Thank you for the heart, Mies. They don't want to spend money on an obesity drug. Even though obesity is an inflammatory disease that usually leads to type 2 diabetes, which is another inflammatory disease, which will lead to kidney failure, another inflammatory disease, and then they will lead to dialysis. It will lead to ulcers in your feet and legs, and you will lose your limbs. It is just a horrible process, and it all starts with obesity. Insurance often denies coverage, reinforcing the idea that obesity is an optional treatment. And it's not. Your health is not an option, and you have to advocate for your health. Your cousin lost his foot, then his life with diabetes. My grandmother did. She refused to lose her limbs, so all of her organs shut down. She absolutely refused to let him take her foot. Yep. If you didn't get on, BP meds and Mounjaro. Exactly, Eileen. My grandmother was told that she would unalive if she didn't get her foot cut off because she had a really bad diabetic ulcer that was causing infection. And about 3 weeks later, she passed from sepsis, and it all started in her foot. She refused to let him take her foot. So a lot of the times we internalize the shame. Sometimes the harshest critic is our own voice. Years of stigma make people feel like they don't deserve the help. GLPs are a chance to rewrite that narrative. Needing medical help does not make you weak. It makes you strong enough to seek solutions for your health. Remember that you can do mantras in the morning. I know everyone's heard this a million times. My mantra is, I am enough. I am doing the best that I can. If I don't make my goal today, I will do better tomorrow. When I first started saying it, it was very quiet and I couldn't have anybody around. I had the bathroom door shut. You look in the mirror, you say it at least twice every morning to yourself. Look in your eyes too. Eye contact is very important. Don't look away and say it looking down. Look at your eyes and say it. And then something just got that confidence in me where I started saying it louder. And then I didn't care who was in the bathroom. Alan can be in there shaving. The dogs can be in there. The door can be open. I say it loud and proud now. I am enough. I am doing the best that I can. If I don't make my goals today, I will do better tomorrow. And I know it, and I believe it every morning. And that's what you need to do. Get a mantra and say it every morning to yourself, even if it's something simple. And as I love you, looking at yourself in the mirror. Some people can do it just as simple as that. Because there are times when you don't love yourself. And if you tell yourself you love you every morning, it makes a difference. So we need to build a supportive future. Change that narrative of not feeling that you feeling that you deserve. Okay, start over. Of feeling that you do not deserve health care, because you do deserve it. Obesity is an inflammatory disease. We can change the narrative by sharing real stories. Not just the before and afters, but share the real story behind you. You know that I talk about how I felt, how I had talked to the funeral director so my boys wouldn't have to, so my husband wouldn't have to. You know that I talk about my grandbabies and how I wasn't able to pick them up. You know how I talk about life and how hard it was when I was that person. I don't just throw up my before and afters and say, this was me 100 pounds ago. Now I'm this person. I talk about where that person was mentally, physically, emotionally. Educating others about GLPs, telling them that they are life-saving, not just vanity. Scream it from a rooftop that GLPs are life-saving medications. Not, thank you, Marilee, not just a vanity medication. By creating safe spaces online and offline for people to share without judgment. And that is why I am so hard about my room, that there is no judgment in here. I do not want judgment in here. If somebody comes in and they're not your preference, I don't care. You don't judge them. They're here to talk. They are here for support. They are here for safety. and they will get it in my room. So be kind to each other, support each other on your journey. And if you can't show support in here, just be quiet while they're in here. And then you can speak again when they're gone. Society isn't supportive because of the stigma, the misinformation, the jealousy, and the misunderstanding. But together, we can change this story. GLPs are not weakness. They're not cheating. They are medicine given for a chronic inflammatory disease. They are hope. They are giving us our lives back. No one should feel ashamed of that. So, let's be real. If you're on a GLP journey, you've probably heard it. It's cheating. You don't need that. Eat less, move more. Let's talk about some coping skills. First, let's understand why the naysayers say what they do. The first one is ignorance that we just talked about. Are we stepping on skinny privilege? I'm just giving a little talk, Robbie, on understanding why society doesn't understand us and some coping skills to get through it. So it's just a little talk, and then we talk about it afterwards. So ignorance. They don't know what GLPs really do. Jealousy. They see your progress and feel insecure. Stigma. Society labels obesity as self-caused. Coping skills don't take it personally. Their reactions is about them, not you. You can educate people, but don't over-explain it to them. Pick your battles. For people open to learning, you can explain GLPs are heart and kidney protective medications. They're not vanity shots. For people willing to listen, simply say, this is a treatment plan that my doctor and I decided on. This is a medication. You can simply say to someone, I'm taking a medication that helps my body work the way it is supposed to. It's not open for debate. And then walk away. You don't need to explain to everybody. Just if they're open to listening, you can just say a few lines and then walk away. You can set boundaries with family members and friends. Family can be the hardest critics besides yourself. And that's because you love family with all your heart. And family is the hardest to say no to. People often think Botox and fillers are okay, but GLPs aren't. Yep. It's not open for debate. Exactly, Regina. We're healers, though. So hard for me to walk away. Yes, I know, Robbie. So a coping skill about setting boundaries. You say to your family member sternly, I am not discussing my medical choices with you. Or I would appreciate your support, not your judgment. Put it back on them. Both of those scenarios puts it back on them. It sets the boundaries that should be there. Boundaries protect relationships. They should not tear them down. So things like I'd appreciate support, not judgment, is not ruining a relationship. It is asking for support, not judgment. And that way the other person knows that judgment is not okay, that you're asking for the support of people. So develop armor statements. I always say we're warriors. We are warriors. So we're going to develop some armor statements. Short, ready to use responses that stop comments in their tracks. You throw that armor on and you are ready to say them. That way you're not dumbfounded when those comments come at you. Have these comments already in your mind. Say them once or twice a day until they are in your mind and ingrained. Okay, thank you for the warrior. I love that. You can use armor statements like, this is my prescription, not my confession. Or, I trust my doctor and that's all that matters. Or, this is medication and it's saving my life. End of story. Those are armor statements that put a stop to the conversation and make it so you are done. It puts up your armor and you're done. You can write your own armor statements or you can use theirs. So try to find a supportive network like this room. Naysayers literally drain your energy. Started with a trainer and exercise program for 6 months. I hope it'll help too, Sassy. Repeat the armor statements, yes. The 3 armor statements that I have written down is, this is my prescription, not my confession. The next one is, I trust my doctor and that's all that matters. I personally like the last one, which is, this medication is saving my life. End of story. Thank you, Eileen. So naysayers drain your karma. They drain your energy. You need to be in a room that is supportive and gives you energy back. Fills your cup. You know, even just with silliness. It doesn't have to be a serious room always talking about serious things. It can be a room that always does tiny dinies. Tiny diny, rawr. Just something to fill your cup back up. Find your tribe. TikTok, trusted friends, or even therapy, just as long as you find your tribe. Thank you, Eileen. You adore Tiny Daddy. Share with those who celebrate your wins. They don't criticize them. If you want to celebrate 0.1 pounds, you celebrate 0.1 pound. You don't go to someone that's going to say it's only 0.1 pound. You go to someone that's going to say, hoo-hoo, that is a win. And that is the person you want to talk to, not the first one. Yep, you want the whoop whoop, not the 0.1. Okay. That's no good. Reframe your conversations. Flip the script a little. Instead of defending and always being defensive, just reframe it a little. If they say you're taking the easy way out, reply with, actually, I'm taking the healthy way forward. It's not the easy way out, it's the healthy way forward. Just flips it around on them a little. Another coping statement. If they say, you'll gain it all back, you say, I'm focusing on long-term health changes, not a quick fix. Just flip it on them a little. You know, have those in the back of your brain so you can bring them forward when the naysayers, you want to say get lost. I don't think I have that written in my notes. Protect your mental health. Naysayers can trigger guilt, shame, and second guessing. And that's hard because that's what we're trying to heal. So the coping skill is to try to detach when you are around a naysayer. Detach your emotions. Journal. Write their words down and then cross them out. Make them disappear. Erase them. Write their words down and then write something underneath of it that is positive about their words. You can talk to someone that's kind of coaching and process the feelings of shame, you can remind yourself that I deserve health. I deserve support. Celebrate your wins loudly. Scream it from a rooftop. Naysayers often fade when they see confidence. So show that confidence. Come forward. Don't shrink back. Celebrate every non-scale victory. It can be something like your toe doesn't hurt anymore. My big toe used to hurt. It was probably the weight on the big toe. Now my toe doesn't hurt. I'm going to celebrate it. Celebrate your labs being better. Any energy that you now have. Your sleep, your mobility. Anything. Seatbelts fitting better. You can drive. Celebrate that your cholesterol was over 300 on medication, and now it's down to 132 off medication. That's magic. That's a miracle. You can walk the airport, Eileen. That's amazing. And you don't have numbness in your feet. Whoop, whoop. Oh, look at the butterflies. That was beautiful, Jeanette. So you cope with naysayers by not taking it personally. You set boundaries. You use armor statements. You build support networks. Reframe the conversation. Protect your mental health. And celebrate victories. Naysayers don't get a vote in your health. Their words don't define your worth. You are on a life-saving journey, and it deserves your respect. Who cares about them? You're on 4 meds now. It was 18. That's amazing, Chrissy. I've dropped 4 medications. I'm still on a ton, though. So I did a cheats sheet, kind of the naysayers and kind of what you say to them. And I just did it real quick and dirty. So like the first part was don't take it personally, and it's their words equals their insecurity. It has nothing to do with you. Remember to set boundaries. Support is welcome, judgment is not. This is my prescription, not my confession. I trust my doctor. End of story. This medication is saving my life. I'm taking the healthy way forward, not the easy way out. This is treatment. I'm focusing on long-term health. Make sure that you find your tribe and have a mantra in the morning that can include, I deserve health. And remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Your GLP journey is valid, powerful, and it's saving your life. So you don't need to worry about anyone else. Does anyone have any questions?